All right, everybody, I'm going to give everyone just a couple of seconds to pop on here while I finish my snack. I'm hungry this morning. But as you guys jump on here, I'm going to try actually to pull up this on our Facebook page, on our, try to pull this up on my computer too so I can look at some notes. Oh, here I am. Okay. I'm going to write some notes in here too. So as you jump on here, one, I want you to make sure you have a notebook, okay? I want you to take notes, and I want you to write some things down. We're going to do some exercises, right? There's some work that comes with this. We are students here. Students. We have to do some work to get down to this. But I want you to answer that question that I just put in there. What is the number one thing holding you back from weight loss success? What do you think that is for you? What do you think that is? Do you know what to do? Do you know how to do it? Do you have a plan to do it? Do you want to do it? Right? What's the number one thing that's holding you back? Is it knowledge and information? Because I know for me, and I would imagine for most of us, that what we're talking about today is the number one factor that holds us back, right? We know what to do. We've got the tools to do it. I've got a fridge full of food, good food, prepped food, but somehow I some days let that stuff come into my mouth anyway, right? I get so far, I get so close to where I want to go, and then I blow it, and I really regress back to this spiral. So I have to tell you, I have become a big student of self-sabotage, because I have gotten so many times to kind of this mark of, if I would lose the last 10 pounds, I would really, really feel my best. And I have yo-yoed up and down. I'm going to do a post, and I'll make sure to put it in here when I do, but just about that. Because, you guys, I started this journey in 2015, I think, 2015, maybe 14. And I lost 25 pounds right away, right? And through to about mid-2017, maybe even the end of 2017, really maintained really great progress. And then I yo-yoed, right? And then I went up and down, this 10-pound increment. And it was I would get up to this line, and I wouldn't let myself cross it, so I would start losing weight again. And then I would get comfortable, and I would just creep back up and down and up and down. And I've got so many progress pictures to show you that. And I thought this year, okay, it's enough. I can't do this. I can't live like this. I can't, mentally process this and keep going through this. So I need to understand why I keep doing this. So you guys, if there's something that you want to change, you have got to become a student of it. You have got to put in place, instead of just sitting there waiting for something magically to change, or maybe you think this sprinkle of dust, magic weight loss dust will happen. The only thing holding you back is right in between these two things here, this ear. It's right here. Everything we need to, right? So as I have progressed as a health coach, I really have become more of a mindset coach, because there isn't a diet that's just based on food alone that will help you to lose the weight, lose the things that you need to lose, right? Until we kind of fix that. So what is self-sabotage? So it's basically holding ourselves back from achieving a goal or value that we want to achieve, right? So, when we think of self-sabotage, I think, immediately we want to feel we are scared of failing. But I have to tell you, 9 out of 10 times, probably even 10 out of 10 times, we're scared of success, right? So let me just kind of pose a couple of questions I wrote down and see if this sounds like you. See if you are a self-sabotager. You're careful for a while, lose some weight, and improve your fitness. Then gradually you revert back to your old habits. You know exactly what to do, but can't seem to do it. You feel like you could write a diet book with everything you know about weight loss, but you don't act on it. Like, I really felt really true to both of those things, right? I think we have those thoughts of, I don't want this to be another failed attempt. I don't want to do that, right? Is using that as an excuse to hold us back from trying again. But again, I feel like we fear that success and what that will hold us back. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about why we probably fear that and what that means. The best diet, again, it won't matter unless we fix what's in here. Okay, so what could be some things that could hold you back? Why would you fear the success of losing this weight? I think for me, it was kind of in letting go, right? I had used food for so long as an escape from anxiety and from stress, right? So for me, food and, specifically those foods that taste really good and are yummy, it really just provided a temporary escape and kind of a place to procrastinate, right? Procrastination is a huge part of self-sabotage, right? So for me, when I didn't want to do something, or even still, like I fight this, when I don't want to do something, my thoughts are, to go get something to eat, right? Because it's a way that I can step away, I can do something that's pleasurable for me and avoid the things that aren't, or the things that I fear and the things like that, right? So that is a big reason for why we self-sabotage, is we fear that success. We fear letting go of those things that we know help us to deal with that. Because if I don't use food anymore to deal with that anxiety and to use that as a tool for procrastination or when I'm bored, what happens? I gotta find something else, right? So there is reason to the Facebook Live that went yesterday, and we talked a little bit about habits. So if you haven't watched that, number one on your list on your notebook right now, I want you to write that down. Go back and watch that on habits, understanding what they are, what the power is, and how we can take a habit that we have and shift it from being negative to a positive habit by changing that behavior, right? So when we want to stop self-sabotage is a habit, right? And so what we have to do is we have to change that behavior, right? So if we use self-sabotage in food right now to deal with self-doubt, to deal with regret, to escape from disappointment or fears that we have, we're not just going to automatically stop doing that, right? We know that. Habits don't go away. We have them forever. Once we have a habit, it's there forever. But what we can do is change that so the behavior that we do adopt when those cues are given, when those triggers happen, are the ones that lead to a positive, healthy approach to getting that reward, to feeling good, to having those things, okay? So that's why we self-sabotage. You guys, is that like eye-opening? Is that hitting home with you? I hope that it really helps you to see, like, you are normal, and that is normal. And we all have things that we need to, that we've put in place to help us deal with those big, scary things, to help us deal with coping with the unknown and, with things that happen. And it is normal for us to want to protect that. Our body, our mind wants things to be easy for us, right? It wants to take away those feelings that are uncomfortable for us and put us back into that magical unicorn place of happiness, right? Wasn't that fun that prop was just right there? So I want to take you through an exercise today because, I've talked a little bit about my acronym WAR. What are the risks? What are the risks? So we need to know what are the risks positive if we make the change, and what are the risks negative if we don't make the change. Okay, so I want you to pull out your notebook because we're going to create a little worksheet that I want you to work through. And you can do some of this here while you're watching this. You can watch this again and go back and, and pause it and list these things. But I find when we put this into the light, right? We take those fears, those things we might be ashamed of, those things we worry about, and we give a voice to them, aka we're writing them down, that it allows us to see those things as not scary anymore, and we can move forward. Okay? So this is hopefully going to help you to calm that inner conflict that you have. All right, number 1, here's what I want you to write down. I want you to list 5 reasons you believe your life would be worse off when you achieve your goal, right? 5 reasons your life would be worse off when you achieve your goal. When you when you meet your weight loss goal, when you've lost the weight, how will your life be worse? Write those things down. I'm going to give you just a minute, and then I'm going to go through a couple of examples. I need my hummus because this is lunch and learn. Okay, hopefully you've got at least 1 or 2 written down, but these are some things that, as I've worked with people, that I've heard, or some of them are things that I tell myself. Okay, but here's a couple of examples. I don't feel like it's possible, so why bother trying? Nothing works long term, and failing in front of everyone multiple times is embarrassing, right? True, right to my heart. Okay, my significant other loves to go out to eat. I want to go to restaurants with them, and I want to feel like I can eat what I want without worrying about calories, carbs, feeling guilty for having dessert, right? I don't want that to happen. This one, I'm scared of dating. I know if I lose weight, I'll have no excuse not to get out there. What are you holding yourself back from? What are those things you want to be doing that you're not? Because you're holding your back saying, I can't do it when I've got the weight. One more. I'm worried I'll never be able to eat my favorite foods again, and I'll always feel deprived. Felt like that for such a long time. Or here's one more, and this isn't mine because obviously I love this, but I don't want to exercise for hours every day, right? Okay, so these reasons all have one thing in common, right? Our subconscious minds believe that rationalizing ourselves out of weight loss will protect us in these situations. But once we identify the real reasons that are holding us back, we begin to counter them, right? So this is step number 2. Now that you've written down the 5 reasons that you believe your life would be worse off for achieving your goal, I want you to question those reasons and poke holes in the logic so that you can take away the power that those excuses right now are holding over you. Okay, so let's kind of go through a couple of them. So the one example, I don't feel like it's possible so why bother trying? Nothing works long term, failing in front of everyone multiple times is just so embarrassing, right? So how can you poke some holes in that? So is it really true that nothing works long term? Is it? Because you've seen other people accomplish weight loss goals, and you've seen them keep the weight off, and you're just as capable as they are, right? So perhaps what you're doing, what you've tried before, isn't sustainable, right? Something that you can do long term. Maybe you're depriving too much. Maybe you're taking away things too much, and so it's not helping you to change, right? But you're worth another shot, right? In our desire to lose weight and improve, it doesn't fade. We just tend to rationalize it away, or we use it to realize our goals, right? So the feelings and the desire that you have to be healthy is never going to go away. So what are you going to do about it? Are you going to realize your goals? Are you going to make that happen? Or are you going to keep rationalizing away the challenges that are going to come, right? Everyone usually comes down to just a few people. It does, right? So don't give power to that. Here's another one. Okay, so my husband or my significant other loves to go out to eat. I want to go to restaurants. I want to be able to have a few drinks. I want to not have to worry about calories and carbs and saying no to everything, right? You guys, you can still, here's where we're going to poke some holes. You can still go to restaurants with them. However, like, think of it as a balance, right? You got to balance between living for today and living for tomorrow. So one solution you could tell yourself, if this was a limiting belief that's holding you back, is that you can be selective on what, when, where, what you indulge in, right? So try asking yourself this question, because I think this is really great. And with the holidays coming up, huge. Let's say you're at a holiday party and you've got 4 desserts in front of you. Do you eat them all? Do you need to eat them all? So ask yourself this question. What do I really want most? What will I really enjoy versus what would I have just because it was there but I don't really enjoy eating it? So that's one way to look at it. Another thing. Will I remember this piece of chocolate cake in 2 weeks? Right? If yes, go for it, right? If you are going to love that and remember it, always eat it. If not, skip it. If it's not that big a deal, it's just right in front of you right now, don't do it, right? So there's some things that you can do to rationalize that. Okay, let's talk about one more. I worry that I'll never be able to eat my favorite foods and I'll always feel deprived, right? So again, any program that requires you to give up all of your favorite foods, it's not it. That's not what you want. We don't want a diet. We want to create a lifestyle plan. And deprivation is not sustainable, right? It might be okay for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, but you can enjoy your favorite foods and you can lose weight, right? So, and a good way to do that is to remember to accessorize. I love in the To Be Mindset that we learned so much about accessorizing our foods, right? No more boring salads. We're putting things in that's fun. Maybe we're throwing a little cheese on that. We're learning how to use our sauces better, right? So it tastes good. Veggies are best for you, but it doesn't have to be boring. It doesn't have to be steamed with just salt and pepper. There's so many ways to add flavor to your food, so don't tell yourself that, okay? So again, you kind of see where we're going in challenging those beliefs, okay? So number 1, you've written down 5 things that you believe, 5 ways your life will be worse off when you achieve your goal. And then you've challenged those fears. Okay, step number 3 that I want you to take is now, I want you to flip that page over and I want you to list 5 reasons you believe your life will be better once you've achieved your goal. Okay, 5 reasons you believe your life will be better once you achieve your goal. Write those down. I hope they come right to the top of your head. I'm just going to give you 1 minute here. And then I'll share some examples with you again. Okay, so here's a couple of examples that I wrote down. I'll be healthier and reduce my chances of getting preventable diseases, right? For me, it's important. I have a family who has heart disease, who has some history of cancers, who has a history of depression and anxiety, right? There's so many things that make me want to be healthier, so I don't have those things in my life. I'll have more energy for myself and my family, right? What can you do with more energy? What would you do? How would you act when you come home from work versus how you are now? What would you do on vacations? How would you feel at the end of the day about yourself as a mom or a spouse or, in those other roles that you have that you want to be great at? I'll feel happy to be in photos instead of hiding away from the camera. How many want that? You want to be in those memories. I'll be a good role model for my children so they don't repeat my negative food behaviors. And one more that I wrote down, I will finally stop worrying about my weight. That one makes me want to cry so much, you guys, because it's not the weight that defines how good we are. And if we don't recognize that, even if we get down to a certain weight, it won't matter. We won't feel good, right? So again, until we really identify those reasons that we fear success, then we'll never be successful, right? And it's really a lack of knowledge about what's good for us. That's rarely the problem, right? We know what to do. We've got the tools to do it. But we suffer from lack of consistent action, and that comes usually from the mindset. So as you kind of go through this, look back at those 2 pages, you guys. Look back at those. Where are the real valuable things that you want to have in your life? Is it the reasons that you're worse off? Put yourself at war now, right? What's at risk? What's at risk if you do make these changes? What's at risk if you don't make the changes? Now you've written those things down. You've refuted and understand how those fears are irrational or why they're not valid. And you really can see, you guys, those reasons. If you have more than 5 reasons, write them all down that you believe your life will be better once you achieve your goal. Write them all down. And I want you to stick that up, and I want you to see it all of the time. And I want you to know it's worth fighting for that. Okay? So we know this is all mental. So we're talking about self-sabotage. I just want to leave you, and I'm going to post in the group. The best way to do that, you guys have got to keep filling this here with things that help you to move forward, that infuse those beliefs, that support your beliefs of how your life will be better more than why, so that it's better to change versus stay the same, right? That life that comes through seeing those things that are possible has to be greater than staying the same, than those fears of change. And the best way that I know to do that is to be a student, right? To feed your mind, to feed it the good things that it needs through meditation, through visualization, through affirmations, through reading good books, through learning about things like this, things that you struggle with, through learning through what other people have gone through, right? Podcasts are filled with people who are just a few steps ahead of us that are sharing that knowledge, okay? So I'm going to put some personal, if I can get that word out, personal development resources in the group for you. And I want you to pick something. If you love to read, pick that. If you love to read but don't find time for it, pick an audiobook. Pick a podcast to listen to. I'm going to put a list of 25. I looked up the 25 greatest health and mindset podcasts, and I think it was a really great list. I've listened to a few episodes on some of the different ones, and find one that speaks to you, right? Find someone that you relate with. Find someone that you love to listen to, and use that in the car. Turn your car into a mobile university. Use that as you're doing your meal prep, as you're cleaning your house, as you're getting yourself ready for the day. Listen to things that fill your mind with the success that's possible for you, because it is, and you're worth it. Okay, so I want you to go through the list that I'm going to put here in the comments, or I might put them in the file section. I'll probably try to put them both. And I want you to choose a resource that you're going to utilize moving forward, right? So maybe it's a book. Maybe you already have a book and you just haven't even picked it up yet. Maybe it's a podcast. Whatever that is for you, I want you to be infusing your mind with good things. The best thing you can do to lose weight is to decrease the power that those limiting beliefs have on you. It's the number one thing. And as you do that, you know what to do, and everything else will be stronger because you understand that you don't have to fear success. You don't have to fear success. You don't have to self-sabotage yourself to stay in the same spot. because it will be more worth it to you to realize these things and these ways your life will be better. I can't wait to see it. We're doing it. You guys are living it every single day, and I love being here. So questions, comments, make sure you post those below. And if you have some topics that you want to talk about in other Lunch and Learns, then make sure you put those down too. Talk to you soon.